Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're enjoying your day so far, and today I want to talk about a pretty spicy bit of drama that came out between Censor and Aches a few days ago. Censor went on the Stay Attached podcast talking about how this whole team situation went down earlier at the start of the season. He was teaming with Aches for a time, now Goonjar is on that squad. He also talks in quite some detail about how Goonjar and Fire are, well, no longer available in the sense that, well, Fire is going to be on the Paris Legion as we imagine, and Goonjar got sketched on, as we'll also look at in a second. But yeah, Doug versus Aches, pretty interesting one. These guys go way back. They teamed back in the day as well, back in the Advanced Warfare days on FaZe Red. But yeah, certainly, well, Censor not too happy with Aches' treatment of him in the early part of the Black Ops Cold War season, and well, definitely wants to get his revenge when they do play in the Challenger side. Intrigued to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Like if you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe if you are new. As always, I'd greatly appreciate it. It really helps out the channel. Thank you very much indeed for doing that. Firstly, this from Kenny. Funny, people were really so bad, they decided hacking was the way. Like, I'm not even trying to be that guy, but I have people I've never even heard of asking me for $100 chals, play them not thinking anything, then I look up their names and see multiple people saying that they hack. Guess it's my fault. I just want to play Search and Destroy. This was some of the clip that came out as a result here, so well, you know, this guy in this video, I'll leave it of course linked in the description box below, but he's talking about how at 36 seconds, this guy's for some reason aiming through the wall, even though like there's no one in this corner clearly, but for some reason he double aims down sights through the wall, and then when you look at the perspective of this guy, he actually happened to be right on the other side of the wall at this very moment. So yeah, definitely seems very suspicious indeed, and well, this is kind of what Kenny is getting at in this clip, that there's a lot of people like this right now ruining these S&D chals online, which is pretty unfortunate to see. But a few days ago, Attached came out with the latest Stay Attached podcast with none other than Douglas Censor Martin, formerly of course of FaZe Clan, was on that team for a number of years, and I talked to quite some length in this podcast. Of course, I'll leave a link for you guys down below. Very good one to check out the entire thing. Really a nice insight into Censor's drive, like what's behind him in terms of his motivations, but also some of his, well, behind the scenes stuff in terms of what happened for FaZe and why he was on that team for a number of different years, and they were promising him a potential spot in the starting lineup. He would have control of the team, but that's not what they were telling the rest of the players, right? No, well, Censor's certainly very frustrated with this in a similar way as we talked about a couple of weeks ago. The fact that, well, in Modern Warfare on the New York subliners, he was also supposedly promised that he would at least get a spot on the starting team and he would have some control over the roster, and well, as it turned out, that was not the case in the end, and well, ended up being on the bench the entire season. And this season, he's not taken any of that BS effectively, and he's not signing himself up to any team, and he's going to work through challenges to get what he wants, I suppose. But part of the working through challenger side is going to be playing with Aches, well, for a time. Now it is going to be Goonjar, Zed, and Denz, plus Censor on the challenger side. So I'll show a couple of clips from this. He gives a couple of hints as well as to what is going on with the Paris Legion, given that Goonjar was meant to be on that Paris team, then as Censor describes, he got sketched on, and he also says later in the episode the fact that Fire and Goonjar were, yeah, no longer available. Now Goonjar is available, of course, to play in the challenger side alongside Censor's team, but Fire is probably going to be on that Paris Legion squad.
And I just knew that going into this year, it was very important to be playing with a good team from day one. So I'm really happy that some really good players hit me up and they said they wanted to play with me. And we've just been really just on our grind every day. We had a little hiccup, which I'll talk about, I guess, a little bit later, but yeah, we had a team and we were all set up and we're ready to go and everything looked good. And then basically one of our players sketched, one of the players that was going to go to a pro team got sketched on, and we picked him up. And now we're just kind of sitting here grinding every day. And it's been really good. Every single day we've been improving. I had an idea of who I wanted to play with going into the season. I wanted to play with Aches. I wanted to play with Fire. I wanted to play with Goon. And Fire obviously was off the board. And then Goonjar was off the board. So it was me and Aches. And then Zed and Denz hit us up. And I'm like, I didn't even think about Zed and Denz because I thought they were in Europe. Yeah. And I'm like, this could be great. Like, I know Zed's a grinder. He plays to win. Denz is a slower AR. We're going to need a player like him, because I didn't even think Denz was like, I didn't even have him on my board because I thought he was in Europe. I had no idea what he was doing. Yeah. So when they hit me up the team, I'm like, oh, this is great. Like, these guys are players who are all about the grind, and they have been every single day. They get on when we have scrims. There's no shit. It's just grind, get better, work as a team, get better. You know, we've been scrimming for like 6 days now, and every single day we just get better. The roles make sense, you know. Goonjar is now on the board. He texts me at 3 a.m. He's like, yo, I don't got a team now. Like, I got screwed over. I was going to join the league and I'm not. So
So this is what is going on right now on the Paris Legion side. Goonjar currently screwing with Zed, Censor, and Denz. Looks like he won't be playing for Paris Legion after all. And yeah, the team now looks like for Paris, Scraps, Classic, Fire, and Aqua. However, before Goonjar was available, these guys were playing with Aches in scrim. So Aches, Denz, Censor, and Zed was the squad for a time before Aches decided to go in a different direction. And well, is this right here? These guys are on a 3-20 win streak. What is going on? 11-4, absolutely smoking people. However, this falls apart, and Censor has some pretty choice words to say about exactly what Aches brings to the team, the fact that he doesn't really want to win, doesn't respect me as a player, and well, definitely a bit of drama going on behind the scenes between these two, and hopefully we get a continued battle throughout the season on the challenger side. Certainly going to make things very entertaining to keep up with.
Get left off a roster or whatever it may be.
I mean, Dylan, it's the same thing now. I mean, look, 5 years later, like I go into this COD, nobody wants to play with Aches, and I'm like, Pat, like I will team with you, but you need to put in the work. And here's my duo. Zed and Dens hit me up the team. I'm like, Pat, we should play with Zed and Dens. He's like, okay. We played Florida in a tournament. We almost 6-0 them.
Yeah.
And then he just decides it's been a week and he still has left me on red. He just sketched on me for Saints Insight and Classic for no reason. Like he didn't say anything. He still hasn't texted me back. So when we played him there, I had to make sure I put him in the dirt. So I don't know what he's doing. Like he just like did a backwards move. You know, I don't know why he does that. Like he just has such a lack of respect for the grind that I have and the winning mentality that I have. So, I mean, if he wants to dig his own grave, he did it back with FaZe back then when, you know, he was only on FaZe for like 2 more events after that. And then he got dropped off the team. And then you got picked up with, I think, Zuma and Clayster and all them, right? Like if you have in-game trash talk, it's not like I do a lot of in-game trash talk. I was shooting at his body all day long today. Like he was just getting destroyed. I don't even think he went positive in the map, to be honest with you, Dill. He's using an AR and literally not going positive on a single map. And I'm like, yep, typical Pat. He doesn't want to win. You know, I'm going to keep saying that to him. And look, if Pat really wants to win and start trying hard, that's great because then we need more Patty P in the league and we need him to be playing well. So, look, I love Pat outside of the game, but I just in the game, I'm going to talk shit. There's certain players I'm going to talk shit. And it doesn't mean that I hate you. It's just, you know, it's a competitive sport. And that's one of the things that drives me as a player. And
so I thought I'd have a quick look back here through Censor's career. Let me just make sure this is relatively decent on the screen. This is way back in the Black Ops 1, Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 2 days when Censor was teaming for a time with Apathy, was his like long-time duo, as he talked about it in his podcast at quite some length. And then going on with Apathy through Ghost on this Strictly Business squad, onto FaZe Black at the latter half of the Ghost season, then into Advanced Warfare, onto this FaZe Red squad as it was at the time, Censor, Apathy, Aches and Slasher. So they teamed for a few events. They actually had a pretty decent result, won the MLG Columbus Open 2014 right at the start of the Advanced Warfare season. I think that might have been Aches' thumb event when he had the injured thumb and all that kind of stuff. We'll probably have to talk about that in a 3 minutes in COD history or something on this channel at some point, or a longer episode, because you guys are certainly enjoying the Scump and Cribs documentary that came out a few days ago. They actually played with Bose in a 2K right here. But yeah, Censor and Aches been teaming together for a time. Of course, the last couple of seasons, it's been a little bit of a different story for Censor, and he talks at quite some length about how FaZe, he was promised an offer on the starting team, and they were like, okay, if the team doesn't work out this season, we're going to give you entire control of the squad going into World War II. And Censor was like, okay, fantastic. This is why I've sat out these last couple of years through Black Ops 3, through Infinite Warfare, because I don't want to leave FaZe Clan, but you know, now they give me the opportunity to get into the team. This is fantastic. And well, it doesn't work out like that. And in fact, they were telling the players very different things indeed. However, Doug actually does a pretty decent season here in World War II, fights his way through what effectively was kind of the challenger side, playing with, you know, BLASTS, Machilla, Nagafen, etc. Then has a decent result in the stage 1 online national circuit, and then gets picked up to Lightning Pandas, has a pretty good result at Birmingham, all things considered, that top 8 placing. I think he actually beat FaZe Clan at that event, which was certainly pretty spicy, but stayed FaZe Censor for a time. But at the end of the Black Ops 4 season, as he was effectively forced to set out again, he decided, look, I'm all about playing, gets on the New York Subliners, doesn't even get the opportunity to play. So yeah, certainly a few tough years for Censor here, but certainly seems to still have the drive to be playing it through the challenger side. As you can see, most recently teaming back up with Aches in some of these online tournaments, but Aches decides to dip from their squad, plays one event with this Karma, I think it was Classic and Saints team that they played with a few days ago, and Censor's team with Gunja hasn't exactly been looking so strong. Top 32 in the Faro Memorial, top 32 also in the North America Cup over here for that Challengers Cup #1. So I'll have to see how it goes this weekend. I'm sure they're putting in the hours, but yeah, Censor versus Aches, pretty spicy storyline. So certainly Censor's plan is, look, to grind through the challenger side and get to the point where a professional team decides, look, this is the guy we want to build around, not just for a brand, not just for, you know, the content side, but also for a player on our starting lineup. I cannot wait for the day when a franchise commits to my vision. Going to be such an amazing feeling to manifest all the ideas sitting dormant into my head. So that is certainly Censor's goal. And he doesn't think that Aches necessarily has it about him to actually, have that commitment, have that grind to get to that point and try as hard as he needs to get properly into the league. This, of course, was also the tweet from last season. I'm the best 6th man in the league, and it isn't even close. So yeah, Doug certainly believes he's one of the best out there, and this Challenger season is his opportunity to prove it. Just to finish off the video, I thought this was really cool. Lion Man actually tweeted out this card. I asked him for this, to produce this card for the end of the Crimsix and Scump documentary, and well, he tweeted out so all you guys can see it on the big screen. But yeah, this was the head-to-head for these guys. Thought it was really cool to see because there was a duo card as well in that documentary. But right at the end, if you guys did make it to like the 33-minute mark or whatever, this comes up on screen. And Crimsix versus Scump, I do find Crim's record pretty incredible. The fact he's played 74 tourneys, Scump's played 81 because Crim wasn't really about in the Black Ops 1 days. He was playing Halo at the time. His average placing is 3.2, Scump's is 4.02. The win-loss is slightly better for Crimsix. Tournament wins 37. I mean, he's won half the tournaments he's attended. I still find that such a crazy statistic. Yeah, head-to-head 11-7, head-to-head COD champs 1-1, and yeah, head-to-head in finals, Scump just has the upper hand in this one. But yeah, pretty crazy to see for two of, well, the greatest of all time. You could certainly put Karma up there as well. But yeah, definitely shows what a legendary career these guys have had together. Intrigued to hear your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, I'd greatly appreciate a like on the video. It really helps out the YouTube algorithm to know you enjoyed this content. Other people like you may enjoy this content as well, and help grow the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you for watching as always, take care, and I will see you next time.